Hi, society. Welcome back to episode 16, Sordward and Shielbert Spectacular Podcast. We got a big one here, season 3, revving up hot. It's Lab Dog, head coach, the Boston Braviaries, your commissioner, joined once again by Juan, head coach of the Worcester Delibirds.
What's up?
Matt, head coach of the Minnesota Nido Kings. And for the first time ever, a non-coach joins us, our special guest, George Arraj, author and creator of Ultra Gear and the COVID Crusader. George, thanks for joining us.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you don't have to lie on this, man. We're very people. But anyway, George, we'll roast you right now a little bit, but
Okay.
so tell.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So, I mean, Matt doesn't know you, but Juan and I, we've known you for quite a while.
Yeah, we've
All buddies.
together, once or twice.
George, what about those long, lonely nights sipping sangria, watching My Hero?
Oh my God! Don't get me started, dude.
The nostalgia.
My teeth still hurt from all that fucking pineapple that we've had.
That was the best, dude. Sangria and anime, a man's night.
Jesus. Oh God.
So anyway, George, obviously now you've kind of helmed 2 popular web series now.
Yeah, popular.
Hey, no, popular. Capitalized, underlined, italicized, bold, popular. Listen, I got the paperback, boys. Ultra Gear. All right, I got the paperback, volume 1, volume 2. I don't want to spoil it, but George, you told me it's in the works, so that's awesome. And you had the limited series COVID Crusader during this, namesake crazy year.
Yeah, it was just a short little series that we did.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll take a look at it in a minute. But George, I wanted to ask, what got you into creating, like, obviously a lot of us read graphic novels, we read or manga or watch anime, but what made you want to take that step to actually being a content creator?
I don't know. Like, I've always had like a very overactive imagination since I was a kid. Like, I've always had like those days where you play like your imagination games. I don't know. I feel like every kid has.
I did that yesterday, bro.
Yeah. And started to, I don't know, like at first, like I kind of, Ultra Gear was not really something I took super serious until like I started thinking about it more and more and like building the world and all the characters, and then like I was writing things down in a notepad, and like if you saw like the files on my computer, it's like a psycho, just like wrote down like all these things, and then I ended up like starting to take it seriously to a point where I was thinking like, okay, well, it started off as like I wanted to, the idea itself at first was like I want this to be like a show or like an anime, but it's just like that's like too ambitious of like an idea to like just make an anime that takes like such a huge budget, like a production team.
Yeah,
like that's how I envisioned it, and then I just sort of was like, well, I feel like maybe we could get to that point maybe in a couple years down the road, like maybe some studio might be interested in picking it up, but right now we don't have enough material for like a first season to begin with. But I was like, all right, well, we could start with like a book series, and that will be what Ultra Gear will be and so I thought heavily about like the art style, and like if I want it to be formatted like Western comic books where you read it left to right, or Japanese format, which is like a manga, which is right to left. And so I ended up going with that, and I ended up going on this website called Upwork, and I basically like pitched my idea to like you can post your idea, and it's basically a site with freelancers where they can like look at job offers and see what they need done. It's mainly like art. It's mainly like a website for artists, like freelance artists and stuff. And so I pitched my idea, and I had like a few characters that I drew, and like I'd upload the pictures of the characters, and I would tell the people who were interested to try and like draw the characters I drew in their style to like get a gist of what they could do, and also look at all their portfolios and stuff like that. And so after about, I think like a month went by after I submitted it, I had about 10 or so offers from people, and
That's
I
not
ended up
bad.
going. Yeah, it was hard. It was kind of a hard decision to like make, because obviously like whoever you end up deciding to go with, you kind of want to stick with that person so the art style stays consistent throughout the series. You don't want to have like a shift in art or something like that, like halfway down the line. But I ended up finding this one kid. He's like, we've been working together for almost 2 years now. He's great. Like we cooperate like very well. Like he's very consistent with his work and everything. And he even had like his own little manga series he was working on beforehand. So I was looking at art for that before deciding, and I decided to go with him. And so far, like it's been like probably the best pick, honestly, out of all those people I could have gone with, because he's a really good artist, and like I appreciate all the time and work he does for, basically hoping that it would pay out, because that was kind of like, he was he liked the idea and premise and everything, so
Yeah.
he's kind of hoping it can go somewhere down the line. But yeah, that's kind of what ended up happening, and we've been working together. I have like my Wacom tablet here, so like I have this where it just plugs into my computer and has a pen, and I tried drawing like concept art and stuff like that to try and help give him ideas for characters and stuff like that, because even though I don't know, some things are hard because I've been improving as an artist, but it's still hard sometimes to like get an idea in your head on paper without using too much of a reference. Like I'll like look up references for a character I have in mind, and like
Yeah, you don't want to be copying the reference.
yeah, exactly. And that's still sometimes a hard thing to do. Like there was, I don't know, I'm like, oh, I'm just drawing concept art. Like I'm sure he'll look at it and turn it into something different. But like if he's looking at my concept art and then using that, and if my concept art is just something from something else, then it's going to obviously seem like that. So I've been trying lately more to use like multiple sources of references, and not just like kind of focusing on just one reference and drawing from that, because I don't know. And the other thing too is like perspective is like really hard for me.
Yeah.
It's been hard. I really should try drawing more. Like this week, I want to try working on characters, because in the second volume we have like this arc that's coming up after this one that we're finishing right now, where like we introduce like a lot of characters. Like there's all these like student type characters that get introduced, and these teachers, and I've only drawn probably like a third of them, and so I need to like sit down and start to try and draw more of them, because they're sort of all going to start pouring into the series like at a very fast pace. So I want him to have like an understanding of each character beforehand.
Yeah, you're about to open the faucet on all
Yeah.
the characters.
I'm excited because like it's just been like a sort of like a linear story, like one plot, basically like a very linear plot, because it's just the beginning. But I'm hoping like in the second and third volume we can start introducing more characters, like world building more, and like having multiple plot threads and unraveling at once, because it's just like the main thing for Ultra Gear was like I wanted it to be like something that's like long running, and like something that could go like try to do like a volume per year for like a good amount of years. And then like I don't know, like I draw like a lot of inspiration from a lot of the manga artists who have been like working on things since like the 80s or 90s, and they're still making new chapters, like Oda from like One Piece, or You know, like Naruto was like another huge one, or Berserk. Like all those stories, like they're still continuing on, and they started in like the 80s and 90s, and like the world building and all the characters and like setup and exposition is just like crazy to me. And like, so it's good to have like that payout, like certain like arcs, like that climax after like so many chapters and everything. It's just like I love that kind of stuff, but it's hard to like, you just have to sort of be patient about it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But it's good, like you said, your second volume, probably some point early next year or so.
Yeah, we're hoping in about like 6 months we'll have the second one finished. We took like a little break because of our other short story that we did, and then now that that's over with, we did merch for it, and then we're working on the second volume now. So
yeah, so
it's
that's a
like,
good transition, George.
Yeah.
Your short series. So tell me about COVID Crusader, because I was actually very impressed with it, especially for a short series. What was like? I mean, this might sound like a dumb question, but what was your inspiration?
So it was actually kind of weird because I like had just one day I was just texting my friend about how working in retail is like, what was it exactly? I was just like talking to them about how, because I work at a supermarket still, and I work in seafood, and I'm just like talking about how like I am like the COVID Crusader or something like that, and then like that just like texting that to my friend like sparked something in my head to go off, where I was like, as soon as like I sent that text, I just started like thinking about like you doing like a short story series about this man who like goes on a quest to slay this dragon who's infected the town folks with COVID, and that's mainly like where it started. It was kind of weird actually, because I couldn't believe like how it originated was just from like a text conversation about working in retail.
But isn't that what artists say? Like they say something, they're like, "Oh shit, that's a good song lyric," and all they have is a napkin in the diner they're at, and they write it down or something.
Yeah. So it was mainly like it's completely different from Ultra Gear, where like it's formatted differently. Where like Ultra Gear is read like it's supposed to be meant like to be read like a book, like you flip through it, so panel setups are different. The art style's different. It's not black and white. It's colored, and also, like I said, like the formatting's different, where we format it to be read through like a phone. So everything's like all the panel setups are going downward instead of like right to left. So there's like different things you can do with that sort of formatting, and it was also just intended to be like a short story satire, like kind of like a Monty Python-esque like story, where it's not really supposed to be taken seriously. Like Ultra Gear is definitely like, there's definitely like comedy in Ultra Gear at times, but Ultra Gear is mainly more of like a very serious series,
serious topics.
Yeah, like it has like its light and dark tones. But COVID Crusader, it was mainly like for there was like a contest on Webtoons where they had two topics. One was like best heartfelt story and best like mind-bending story, and so we went with the heartfelt one, and we sort of wrote it to cater to that also, where like it's supposed to be kind of heartfelt, where like you have the main character, the Crusader, who's like he's kind of he's kind of stupid, and like he's bold, like he just goes out and does whatever,
very brash.
Yeah, and he has this girl, like the other main character, well, his like side character is the Squire, which is like this small little girl who like lugs around all his stuff for him, and like there's just like this weird connection between the two, where like she kind of like has feelings for him, but like he doesn't even like acknowledge it because he's so like hell-bent on like going to slay the dragon and everything, and she just wants to like get to know him more. And like also she has this weird thing where like she's never seen his actual face underneath the helmet, so like she's
behind the mask.
Yeah, But yeah, it was just a short story. It's all free. Yeah, I know, like the links down below. And
Yeah, we'll have the links to Ultra Gear and COVID Crusader and George's shop as well. I'm getting that t-shirt. I was really thinking between like the tank top or the t-shirt, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not really a tank top guy.
yeah, you can pick. There's just like a few designs. Like we had three.
Yeah, but they're awesome. I love that art style with the dragon and everything.
Got this. I have it right here, actually. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can see
dude,
it.
flash it. Yeah, that's sick.
The light's not that good, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but you
just
can tell.
basically
Black
like
up.
we had my artist worked like a lot of hours on designing this one specifically. Like there's so much detail he put into
Yeah,
it.
that's my favorite. That's the one I'm getting on the t-shirt.
Yeah, you just have like the logo right here, and then the Crusaders in the bottom corner squaring off against the dragon, and like that one. We have a few other designs, like we have just like, you know, like the face mask. We have like 2 face mask designs with just like the logo and like this minimalistic design. And then we have one other design, but that one was mainly the one that he put like a lot of time and effort into. So I've been trying to like, I feel like if there was something to order, it would be, I tried to like advertise that one.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a quick look at COVID Crusader actually too. I'm not gonna spoil everything, but like I love this intro. So George, why don't you read this for us in the voice that you would imagine?
You want me to read this?
Yep.
It's like
Put you on the spot.
Okay, all right. So hold on, this one.
I'll scroll down as you finish each one.
All right. Okay. Okay. Story time, boys and girls. Okay. Also, like the art style in the prologue was different compared to the rest. We made it more of like a dark and gloomy prologue. Okay. So, in a world not so different from ours, lived a gladsome village. The townsfolk strived and lived in harmony to the best of their abilities until one day a disastrous bane struck the land. The sky began to darken as a giant looming presence emerged from the clouds. The townsfolk began feeling sprinkles of what they thought to be snow or ash. The elderly began to cough and fall to the ground. As the village began to question what was happening, they looked upwards. What appeared was something only heard of in ancient folklore and fairy tales. A dragon emerged from the skyline, twisting and turning in all directions. With each breath, it spouted a plague upon the land. As the dragon returned to its lair, the village began to work on ways to cure the elderly of the infection. They tried all sorts of different spells and concoctions, but alas, nothing worked. This is the best panel series in my opinion. The king began to lose his mind, suggesting the townsfolk begin injecting disinfectant into their bloodstream. With a quarantine in effect, all fade. However, as the sun rose over the hills, a man appeared gazing over the village.
Do you want to keep going, George, or leave it right here? Like this is
that's fine. We can leave it there.
The COVID Crusader's on his way, and you gotta check it out.
I don't know who is that on the hilltop. You're gonna have to read more.
I don't know. Can't be the main character, but
I don't know, man.
Yeah, so that's awesome, George. That's a great short story, guys. Definitely check it out again. Link will be below. But
it's not like compared to Ultra Gear, it's very like simplistic and sort of like just a satire.
Yeah, so I like that. Like it was a good satire.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad I just embarrassed myself with storytelling, like the prologue.
Yeah. I felt like I felt more of the story than reading it on my own. You know, I got it from the creator's point of view now. I felt like the
Yeah. You think I should do like an audible? Like
yeah,
an
do an audible.
just get like a really nice microphone and just rig it and start
You should.
doing it. Like just
I could see that for sure.
voice
Doing
acting.
voice, George.
Mm.
All right. So, George, thanks for sharing your content, but you're on a freaking Pokemon podcast, so it's time we actually talk about Pokemon.
Yeah, let's talk about the real subject at hand.
Yeah, the real shit. So, George, since you're new on here, we'll just ask you a couple Pokemon questions. First off, how long have you been playing Pokemon? What was your first Pokemon game?
I mean, I've been playing since I don't remember it, honestly. It's like I was very young, I was like 10 or so, and I was like also collecting the cards like everyone else. I feel like, you know, you go to like Burger King and just like trade cards with kids in Burger King. It was such a different time.
And you thugs down at Burger King.
I think the first one I think I played was Silver, and then I played Yellow after, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So pretty old school. So have you ever played competitively?
No, like I never got like super into playing competitively actually. Like I was just trying to like finish the games, and then I'd like doing like Nuzlocks. Like I always like just like replaying games and doing that where like if people don't know what that is, it's like basically you play through the game and you have like a set of rules where you can only like catch one Pokemon per area, and like it has to be the first one you encounter, and like if one of your Pokemon faints, you have to get rid of it. So if you run out of Pokemon, like you lose the Nuzlocke. But I don't know. I never got like into playing competitively other than just like trying to do Nuzlocks. And then I did though. Like I kind of like got super into the card game where I was not like super competitive with it. Like I think I was like 15 or 16 where I made a deck, and it wasn't even like a good deck, honestly. Like I made it as a kid thinking like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like I like the theme of it, and so I brought it to Gillette Stadium because they actually had like an official tournament there, and I think it wasn't like it was just like openings or whatever you call it, where like anyone can go and just
like regional.
Yeah, and that, by the way, that was like the first time I've ever been to Gillette Stadium. Like, no, I have not gone to Gillette Stadium to see the Patriots play. I went to play Pokemon.
Nerd.
Yeah. It was fun though. Like I just brought my deck, and then just you had to like write down every single card in your deck on this piece of paper and give it to the officials. And then I got destroyed though by like people who were taking it wicked seriously, obviously because it was like an official tournament.
Yeah.
I think I won. I played about
game to win.
Yeah, like I got destroyed. Like there's one game where I drew like really poorly, and I only had like one Pokemon out, so I didn't have like anything on my bench. And this guy had like this weird deck where like he was able to just kill that one Pokemon turn one, and then because I had nothing on my bench,
you lost.
I lost the game in like 2 seconds, and I was like, "What? Okay, all right, well." But I had fun. It was a fun experience. It was just like I did not bring like a good tier deck. I brought like a deck that I thought was like thematically cool, and like I got destroyed, but it was fun. I still not
kind of going off of your story, George. I mean, I haven't played the TCG in years and years, but that was always one mechanic of the TCG that I was just like, wow, if you just draw nothing like your first turn, you lose.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not even like in Magic where it's like, okay, you might only get 1 or 2 lands at the beginning, but maybe your opponent won't draw any lands as well, you know, or something.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting day, and I liked it. I was a little defeated afterwards. I was like, wow, I just got destroyed. and I went home with like 2 wins out of like 20. But yeah, other than that, like I still play Pokemon. Like I have my Switch somewhere, and I just haven't played the new DLC for the new game yet. I might get it eventually. I just haven't been like super into it lately.
Yeah. And George, last Pokemon question for you. Do you have a favorite Pokemon?
I don't know. I'd have to say probably like Totodile.
Oh,
Like
Totodile's cool.
if I had to
Use
pick like
one
one
hand,
starter, if I had to pick like one starter from every single generation, it'd probably be Totodile.
Yeah, Totodile's pretty cool.
If
All
you-
right.
There's one fun fact if you didn't know about Totodile. For Alligator, the reason why his name is like squished like that at the end is because on the Game Boy Color, you weren't able to add that many characters
Oh,
to him. So like that's why the end of his name. I think they wanted to put E, but they couldn't because of the software. Like,
yeah. So it was limited by its design because of the amount of pixels or whatever.
yeah, like they couldn't add like another character to his name, so that's why his name will forever be like without an E. So that's a fun fact about Totodile.
And the Totodile line. But
Yeah.
all right, George, thanks for sharing that with us and for sharing your work and everything. But back to society business, guys.
Yeah.
We had the season 3 draft last night, so we're gonna break that all down. All right, you guys see that all right? All right.
Yep.
So here's the draft order and everything. We kind of went over this on last week's podcast, but now we get to see what everyone actually picked. So we got Charm City Charizards off first. They got an interesting team here. G-Max Paparaja, Urshifu Single Strike, Alakazam, Gudra, Lapras, Incineroar, Frostmoth, Mudsdale, Shiinotic, and Kangaskhan. Juan, what do you think of this team?
Well, I would have not have wasted another one pick on G-Max Copperjaw, but
Whoa, I wasn't going to even mention that. Why you got to throw him under the bus like that?
but other than that, his team is, when you look at it, it's pretty stacked. You've got a good variety in types. You've got some power in there. And, yeah, I mean, other than the first pick, he had a pretty good draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he threw away that first pick, but then he turned it around very, very nicely.
It's not that it's a bad pick. I get his
Just
strategy.
not a number 1 pick.
Yeah, that's just not a number
That's
one
like a
pick.
4th round pick.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody was going to take G-Max Copperjaw.
No, not
At least not early.
no. And there's replacements, right? You can find other G-Maxes about the same power level later. But
Yeah.
no, I think he did very, very well. What were you going to say, Matt?
Well, the one thing that it does have that's unique to it is the steel version of Stealth Rocks, which is something only
that is
it has. Because if you look at the alternative, I guess you could say, to it, which is Dreadnought, it's just normal Stealth Rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends what you're trying to hit, but that means you can put up both. So,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
That plus spikes plus toxic spikes, that could be a turn 1 death to anything, or specific mons.
Yeah, true. I don't think he has anything on his team that can do spikes or toxic spikes, but he has regular rockers and then obviously the steel rock. So he does have some hazard options. And he's got a couple really good sweepers in both Alakazam and Urshifu. So I like it. I think it's a pretty solid team that he ended up with. All right, pick number 2. Your boy, Boston Braviaries, the 2-time. So for those who didn't watch the podcast, last week, I revealed my draft strategy was going to be to draft Spider-Man villains and bring the Sinister Six every week. So I'm going to go over the Pokemon and say which Spider-Man villain they are. So obviously, G-Max Grimmsnarl's the Green Goblin. He's the Goblin. He's the leader of the Sinister Six. You got Zeraora. This one might be a stretch, but honestly, the S tiers were all kind of a stretch. He's Prowler, for those who watch Into the Spider-Verse. Como-O, he's the Lizard. Tentacruel, obviously, Doc Ock. Scizor is Beetle. For those who play the Ultimate Spider-Man video game on the GameCube, you know who I'm talking about. He had a part in that. Zoroark, I like this one. He's Mysterio with his signature ability Illusion. Exploud is Shocker, uses sound waves. Rotom is Electro. Lycanroc Midnight form is Kraven the Hunter. And then Rhydon is Rhino. So my team, I'll bring 6 every week, so everyone will have to fight the Sinister Six every week. Obviously, I was picking on theme, so I don't think my team is great, but I think I did end up with still some good Pokemon in the end.
Yeah, your team is not.
It's not
yeah, your
trash
team
for
is.
picking.
Yeah, I think your team's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's solid. It doesn't. It can do a lot of things. Like it's got some sweepers in there. It definitely has some pivots with Como and Tentacruel.
Yep.
I got like several things I can set up rocks.
Yep. Yeah, because Komomo you can do stealth. You can use stealth rocks.
Yep. He can do stealth rocks. Rhydon can. Tentacruel can do toxic spikes.
Yeah.
Lycanroc can do stealth rocks. So I got
So
all.
yeah, it's a solid. It's definitely a solid team for sure.
Also, Tentacruel gets Rapid Spin, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever has Venusaur is going to hate you with that Liquid Ooze.
Yep. Suck it. All right, next up we got the Seattle Shiny Sylveons. They ended up with G-Max Gengar, Dragapult, Necrozma, Lucario, Durant, Luxray, Lycanroc, Duskform, Glaceon, Turtonator, and Beware. So, George, what do you think of this team?
Honestly, why would you ever want to do anything?
Why would you ever want anything? What?
Oh, what the ant? What's his name? Isn't
Durant?
Yeah.
Durant?
Durant's not bad.
Durant's a really underrated sweeper.
Yeah. And
109.
He has hustle, so as long as you don't miss, he's hitting hard, and his typing is really good.
Hustle, Home Claws, First Impression, Stab, Iron Head.
Like, look at his face. Look at his face. Like, you see his face right there.
Hey, that's Kevin Durant you're talking to, all right?
I was gonna say the only thing.
Durant might be like the only Pokemon I like on this team. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
Other than Dragapult, I'd have to
Dragapult,
agree.
I like all of
Lucario's okay.
Lycanroc, Duskform. Juan and I were talking about this a week ago, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. It should have been a B tier, but we put it in C tier because we dumb and don't research Pokemon right away.
Yeah.
So that, like, I wanted to take it and have that one be my Kraven the Hunter, but he took it kind of early because he saw the upside of it. But here's the issue I see with this team. Look at his top 3 Pokemon: Gengar, Dragapult, and Necrozma. His top 3 are all weak to Dark. You get one solid Dark type, and it takes out his top 3. And then he's got 2 Steels. Like then you look at his next 3: Lucario, Durant, and Luxray. I mean, Durant is neutral to fighting, but 2 of them are weak to fighting. And like
also
fighting,
Ghost
and Glaceon's weak to fighting, and Beware's weak to fighting.
Another thing, Ghost also beats his top 3, so not only Dark, but Ghost.
Yeah.
But the thing he has to worry about the most is Durant might join the team he loses to.
Yeah, Durant's gonna leave. I think he definitely has power, but I think he needs to diversify his types a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, Gengar and Dragapult, I think, are fine because I think those types are really good this season.
Oh, yeah.
But you need something that'll scare away those ghost and dark types that might be able to do something against them. But we'll see.
Though Prism Armor is really good, though.
Yeah, no,
So
the
that
Cosmic
kind of-
is good. I just don't like having so many things weak to the same thing.
Yeah. Well, because of Prism Armor,
But then
at
again,
least
like you brought this up earlier, Matt. Like you can look at a team and say like, oh, look at all its weaknesses, but then it can still win because maybe
Yeah.
its weaknesses are never exploited, or maybe the coach has a different game plan,
or just work around them.
or he has a Lycanroc Dust Form, which is really good. All right,
Or,
next
you
we
know,
got the
knock
Team of
off.
Seasons. We got Gmax Alcremie, Toxapex, Galarian, Corsola, Jellicent, Avalugg, Araquanid, Drapion, Pyukumuku, Appleton, and Phalanx. Juan, what do you think of this team?
I think it's okay. Toxapex and Jellicent. Well, Jellicent's a heavy hitter, and I think Toxapex could set up the toxic spikes. But other than that, I mean, I don't really see anything else that would scare someone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's the only weakness here, right? Like his team is very super bulky. Like you got Corsola.
I see
Avalugg,
8 tanks,
Jellicent.
Drapion, and Phalanx.
Yeah. I mean, Araquanid can hit hard too with Water Bubble. It's
Yeah.
its water attacks are really strong, but
But that's the problem. It's very predictable what it's going to hurt you with.
yeah.
Because it's not even like
I
its
think he
bug
needs to
moves are good.
drop, like, if I were him, I mean, obviously this is early, I'd be looking to drop probably Corsola and pick up like a really offensive A tier, like a Terrakion or something. I think was in A tier. So
Brachion was not picked.
yeah, Terrakion wasn't picked, Cobalion wasn't picked. That's kind of what I would be looking at to fill that in. But
Wait, is that middle, the last one in the middle, is that from the DLC or something?
which one, the Apple
This-
Dragon?
Yeah, no, the spider, yeah.
Araquanid?
No,
Yeah.
That one-
that's from Sun and Moon.
Wait, really?
It was it was before the DLC. It was available. It was only, I think it's only available right after you originally get to the wild zone to the left. You can find them there. And I think
What?
that's the only place you can
Yeah, I
find
think you can only get them in the wild area.
Is it like a water bug or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a spider with a water bubble on its head.
So it's like water bug type.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's pretty
I didn't
good.
know that.
It's super slow, but it hits really hard.
68, 70, 92, 50, 132, 42. So decent bulk, low offensive, but because of water
Yeah,
bubble,
because the water bubble.
its
is
attack
actually
is doubled when using water moves and in liquidation.
Yeah,
Oh,
Also, water bubble makes it so it takes half damage from fire moves and it cannot be burned.
Arachnid is good. I want a shiny one, but nobody has it. All right, Juan. Okay, Juan, I'll let you break down your team. Tell me what's up.
well, my strategy was, as I told you earlier, just, go with Pokemon I was familiar with. And kind of what the mindset I had last season, kind of went with it this season because, with it being singles, it works better. Try to go for some heavy hitters here. The last part of it, the C tier Pokemon, but I like my front line. My front line's pretty good, and of course, Delibird's always a throwaway pick at the end. But
Gotta
I think
represent.
I think overall my team is good. I mean, it's not scary good, but I think it's a pretty solid team overall.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some things maybe like while the season progresses, I might drop some Pokemon to try to get some stuff I'm missing. But other than that, I mean, I'm happy with what I have now. But we'll see what happens in a couple weeks.
yeah. So just kind of recapping on it, you got Gmax, Snorlax, Rillaboom, Pelipper, Arcanine, Machamp, Gigalith, Butterfree, Thievul, Weezing, and the boy, Delibird. Next,
Yep.
we got, Next, we got the Denver Ninetales. They picked G-Max Venusaur, Dugtrio, Torkoal, Jolteon, Darmanitan, Heliolisk, Quillfish, Mawile, Drampa, and Rabombi. So, Matt, what do you think of this team?
Definitely, this is probably our first heavy weather team.
Yeah, you're going sun here.
Yeah, with Torkoal, definitely going to be solar power Heliolisk. Darmanitan just getting extra damage from the sun. Dugtrio being able to trap things and also gets... Okay, it only gets sandstorm stuff. And then that chlorophyll G-Max is going to hurt like a truck.
Yeah. I really like this team.
The only thing that confuses me, Quillfish.
Oh yeah.
It can do toxic spikes.
Yeah, spikes and toxic spikes, but like the only time I've ever used or seen Quillfish used is the Rain Sweeper, which can be a disgusting one with Poison Point.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be running a Rain Sweeper in Sun, so I think it's gonna act more of like a poison type and a hazard setter. And it can blow up on things too. Do a lot of damage with a explosion. But Dugtrio's like underrated. Like you gotta really know what you're doing Dugtrio, but it'll kill something when you least expect it.
Because
they added the other Gigamax starters in the DLC, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they added the 3 Galarian ones and Blastoise and Venusaur. And then Urshifu, but we banned the G-Max Urshifus.
They're always giving Charizard like the spotlight, I swear.
Yeah. check out our last podcast, George. We lament about that in length.
Even like X and Y, it's just like, yeah, he got 2.
You got 2? That's okay. Mewtwo got 2 as well. So
yeah.
All right, we got the Driftvale City Dragapults next. They go with G-Max Rillaboom, Volcarona, Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Sandslash, Virizion, Dragalage, Palossand, Orbeetle, Galarian Stunfisk, and Sirfetch'd. First impressions on this team, I think it's pretty solid. He's got a little bit of hail thing here with Slush Rush, Sandslash. I mean, Volcarona is good if it can set up. I mean, it doesn't need to set up, but it's really good if it can set up. And obviously, Rillaboom is really good. Virizion is interesting. It's the worst of the legendaries that we have available, which is why it was in B tier, but it still has legendary stats. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with that, especially in Grassy Surge. That'll make its grass attacks even stronger. Dragalage is a really solid Pokemon. As far as his C tiers go, I mean, Orbeetle can do some screen stuff, but I think that's why you have Ninetales. So I'm not exactly sure what exactly his C tiers want to do, other than, you know, covering types. But sometimes that's all you want your C tiers to do, is just cover your types that you didn't have. Juan, do you have anything you want to add on the Dragapults?
No, I mean, you basically said what I would say. I mean, he seems like, just like me, you know, the C tiers are kind of questionable, but the rest of the team is definitely solid for sure.
Yeah, I think he might just bring the top 6 like pretty often.
One thing to note with Virizion, it is a very specially bulky Pokemon, and it's a fast mixed attacker, so it has a lot of different things it can do.
Yeah.
Though those are some very bad weaknesses: Fairy, Fire, Ice, and 4x Flying.
Yeah. And Psychic.
poison.
Yeah, that's why it's the worst, because it's weak to a lot of stuff. Common things. All right, next we got the Montreal Milotics. They went with G-Max Butterfree, Aegislash, Rotom Wash, Ditto, Haxorus, Hatterene, Skarmory, Cursula, Mienshao, and Galarian Mr. Mime. Matt, you got any thoughts on this team?
Was Skarmory a C tier?
No, it was B. He got
Okay.
4 B picks because he picked Butterfree.
Okay, because Skarmory is definitely not a C tier.
Yeah, no, it was B.
Anyways, Aegislash, that's definitely gonna be a fun one to play against. Butterfree, I don't think will be as good as what you did with it.
No,
And
not
doubles.
in doubles. No, yeah, it's way better in doubles.
Wanna know what this looks like? They're trying to copy you, but in singles, with Hatterene, Butterfree, Haxorus, and you had a Rotom Wash, correct? Last season.
No, I had regular Rotom for like 2 weeks, and then I dropped it really fast because I didn't need its tricks. Yeah, I mean, I had regular Butterfree and I had G-Max Hatterene on mine. But
It's definitely a really weird team.
he has a lot of stuff that I like though. He has Butterfree, like, fine, it's a G-Max minus, right? It's not going to be great. But Aegislash is good. Go Steel, very hard hitter, and it's usually safe to switch it into things that aren't super effective against it, because when it switches in, it's in defense form, so it has really high bulk. So you can usually get into stuff without taking too much damage. Rotom Wash is really good. Only weak to grass. So again, it's another one of those things that you can just throw in, and then if they swap something out, you can just volt switch out and keep doing your thing. Ditto is kind of like a meme pick, but I'm sure he might bring it. Haxorus I used in the first season. It was great, so I love Haxorus. Hatterene is interesting. I see a little, he could have like a Trick Room setup in the back here with his Ursula.
That could also work with Aegislash, so that kind of throws away Aegislash's whole entire game plan.
Yeah, but because the main way that Hatterene is used in singles is Sash, set up Trick Room, like guarantee set up Trick Room, and then hit things hard with its high spectral attack and everything. Skarmory is obviously amazing, hazard setter, very bulky, gets roost and everything. I think it's solid. There's a couple, like, he doesn't have a water, he has a water type, but he doesn't have like a fire type or a grass type, which is like the only thing that I would say I would want, like a fire type or something. But other than that,
personally, other than Aegislash, I feel like the biggest threat is definitely Skarmory, especially with Body Press.
Yeah, with Body Press, yeah, if you can get like an Iron Defense or 2 up, that'd be good. I mean,
and
Haxorus
especially
is a threat,
2 weaknesses.
Haxorus is a threat, and I mean, unless you're hitting like super effective with something strong, Hatterene isn't gonna die automatically, and it can hit really hard. So I think he's got some good moves. Maybe we could see him swapping out Butterfree later on, but we'll see how it goes. Next, we got the Mighty Psyducks, Ollie's team. He's got G-Max Orbeetle, Togekiss, Venusaur, Gyarados, Charizard, Raichu, Hitmontop, Liepard, Braviary, and Mr. Rhyme. George, what do you think of this team? You've got some OG Mons on here.
I don't know, why'd you pick the art from like 1995 for Venusaur?
That's what
I had to find one that had a transparent background so it looked nice. That was the first one I found after like clicking on 10 of them. So I was like, okay.
It just looks like so weird.
So off-putting, just all of them being like normal.
It's a toad with ears
Gen
and a
1.
plant on its back. How did you want it to be not off-putting?
I don't know. It looks like a good team, though. I just like trying to think. Really, I don't know.
The only thing that I think he's really missing, I actually like the Orbeetle on this team because he can do some hypnosis stuff
Yeah.
with it, with the gravity setup. So I think that's fine. But he doesn't have a way to set up hazards.
Yeah, there's
I would be
nothing.
looking for a way to set up rocks if I were him. But I like Gyarados. Gyarados is a scary sweeper with Moxie. Charizard's good. Unfortunately, both Sunsetters are picked. I wonder, does Liepard get Sunny Day?
I think so. I feel like it.
Because like a Prankster Sunny Day user that would just die right after and then have Venusaur and Charizard in the back doesn't sound too bad.
Yes, it does.
It does? Okay, so I can see that. Like setting up Sunny Day with Liepard, like Heat Rock Liepard, just set up Sunny Day with Prankster and then die to whatever so that you can bring in Venusaur and Charizard to kill things.
Yeah, and if it lives, just like, I don't know, status.
Yeah. Yeah.
What status
just
moves
swap
does
it out
it
into
get?
Venusaur, because Venusaur will probably eat a hit pretty easily.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ali's team is solid. I think he has some different tools here. How are you saying Germignon? We got Gmax, Machamp, Tyranitar, Amoonguss, Clefable, Galvantula, Cloyster, Starmie, Flareon, Steelix, and Arctovish. Juan, what do you think of PSG here?
I think it's a pretty good team, to be honest. It's a lot of diverse types. I think that definitely helps. You got some setters there, some heavy hitters. I mean, yeah, I think it was a definitely pretty good team here. I like the diversity. That's what I like.
Yeah, I think it's a solid team. Machamp will be interesting because like Machamp's greatest thing is its no guard ability, which is useless when you're Gigantamax because you already hit everything. And
Guts. Just make it hit a lot harder.
yeah, but the thing is that Max Chi Strike, even though Max Chi Strike replaces Max Knuckle, so you're not getting the attack boost. Yes, you're getting a crit boost, but you're not getting the attack boost, and it's still only a 90 per. It's still like only a 90 base power attack. It doesn't like get higher. You know what I mean?
Does he get any like? He does get cross chop, which is 100 power, 80 accuracy, high crit rate. So that
Yeah,
makes
I'm talking about it
easy.
in his Gmax attacks. Like
Sure.
his Gmax attacks aren't going to hit for like 120, 130 like other Pokemon will. Until he gets those increased crit rates. But those first like attack or two are going to be like weaker.
Could always just go steadfast. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to be a really awkward one to use since.
Yeah. I could see him maybe dropping Machamp or something. I think there's still like some good minuses. And I wouldn't be surprised if he drops either a Cloyster or an Arctovish, because that's his only like, they're both ice water types, and he's got 3 water types. I mean, Cloyster's good, but it just depends what you're looking for. But I think it's still very solid. Tyranitar is good. Amoonguss is a great pivot. The Fable is also a really good pivot. With Magic Guard, it doesn't take rocks or anything. Galvantula is a pretty good sweeper.
If I remember correctly, there are still decent Gmax minuses with Seneconda, Scorch, and Teleon in the apples.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of still pretty good minuses if he decides he wants to swap that out. But Sin City Squirtles are next. We got Gmax Charizard, Ferrothorn, Reuniclus, Noivern, Duraludon, Vanillix, Wishiwashi, Vespiquen, Klinklang, and Skuntank. Juan, what do you think of the Sin City Squirtles here?
Well, of course, I like his Gmax. But Ferrothorn's definitely pretty good. I like Noivern. Duraludon could be a solid Pokemon as well. the C tier Pokemon aren't really all bad, but other than that, it's not a bad team. I say it's a solid team. There's some setters in there too, so yeah, I say it's a solid team.
Yeah, I would just, like you said, his C tiers. There's a few of these teams where the C tiers just really drop off. Wishy-Washy isn't too bad. Like, honestly, like, in its schooling form, it's a monster.
Oh yeah,
If you can, like, outspeed things, it's fine.
I feel well. Wishy-Washy when it's schooling is only 30 speed.
Yeah,
Like you
that's what
could
I mean.
put the berry that goes off when you're extremely low on it to keep it in schooling, and then that's like 140 attack, 140 special attack. It's gonna hit hard with the 130 and 135 on the defenses. So
He has Reuniclus too, so he could do, like, a Trick Room set.
easily,
Wishy-Washy.
and then Wishy-Washy is gonna be disgustingly scary.
Yeah, but he should drop one of his steel types, either Duraludon or Klinklang probably, and try.
I said Duraludon.
Yeah,
Because even though it doesn't share like the fire weakness, like it has a really insane typing, don't get me wrong.
yeah,
But Duraludon as a Pokemon just doesn't really feel that enjoyable Pokemon, you know what I mean?
it also has like, I mean, Klinklang has a useless ability too, but Duraludon's ability is pretty useless in singles. Like,
Well, Clear Body, you can't reduce its stats, which is nice against like Intimidate, which is really good when you think of Gear Grind and Shift Gear, like Shift Gear, Gear
Yeah.
Grind. It's outspeeding
Yeah,
everything.
Clear Body is a way better ability.
And it's Pure Steel, the best monotype out there.
Yeah,
So it's actually like really terrifying.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I think if he just like kind of drops that, maybe gets something else for a Trick Room sort of thing. Like, I think Wishy-Washy could be scary and Reuniclus could be scary. And then he still has like Charizard and Noivern and like Vanillix as like faster sweepers. Like Choice Specs of Vanillix is still pretty good, like with Blizzard and everything. The LA Kinglers are next. They got G-Max Colossal, Excadrill, Dracozolt, Seismitoad, Ninetales, Gardevoir, Togedemaru, Sableye, Wobbuffet, and Persian. George, any thoughts on this team?
Yeah. So did they add that Gigamax to the DLC also, or right?
No, that one's old.
It was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like everything except for the weird fossil. I hated those fossil things in that game.
What? Dragozolt's great. I mean,
They're-
it's gonna miss half the time, but it's great.
Ugh, like I don't know. I think I don't know. It looks good except for that abomination.
Juan, what do you think of the Kinglers?
I think the Kinglers has a solid team. The G-Max Colossal was an MVP last season. I still think even in singles it can hit pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
especially. So
Yeah,
and
I like his team.
extra
He doesn't have a way to set stand, so I mean, Excadrill is probably just going to be Mold Breaker, but it's still Excadrill, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's still
still
gonna
gonna
hit
kill
hard.
things.
Plus like Mold Breaker, Stealth Rocks.
Yeah,
That's definitely not
Yeah,
going to
you
be
can have
fun
like
for
a
me.
utility set with him and use Dracozolt more as like your sweeper, Dracozolt and Colossal as your sweepers. Not that Excadrill can't kill some things, but you can make it a little bulkier and have it be like a utility set. I mean, Seismitoad can do rocks too. So he has a couple options. All right, Matt, go through your team for us.
Blastoise, Shell Smash, Darmanitan. Name a season where I do not love my precious Darmanitan.
Season 12.
You know, that's gonna be a prediction, and I'm gonna have it every season, but season 12, and someone's gonna
Yep,
steal
we're
it from
gonna
me now.
come back to this. Screen captain.
Mandibuzz mainly so Mandibuzz was my last pick, and it was down between Mandibuzz or Terrakion. I have enough physical attackers. I do not need Terrakion, whatsoever. So I went with Mandibuzz, and that was mainly it. None of the like A tiers really seemed like something that I really wanted or needed. So I just waited on it. Slowbro, I love Slowbro. That's mainly it. And I was just really excited that they added it because it's one of my favorites. So I just put on my team just because that. Bisharp's one of my favorite Pokemon, so I went with that also. 5 of the Pokemon are just Pokemon I really like, by the way, are just kind of my reasoning. Scyther, we were talking about it, and I heavily underestimated it. Then you told me what it can do.
Yeah. With the new moves.
Thank you. Because I decided to go on Pokemon Showdown, and that hurts a lot. Trevenant, I just really like. Xatu, you remember Shaman, I'm gonna use that again. Hitmonlee, that just hits really hard, and Comfey, priority healing special moves.
Yeah, so I think you have a solid team here. Like you said, you got your sweepers, and I think Mandibuzz was a good pick because other than Slowbro, you didn't have too much to like switch into things.
Yeah,
like
and I only had
getting cleanly. So I think
and my tanks have low stats.
Mandibuzz, you can defog, you can roost, you can U-turn, you can beat up, so it's pretty good. The only thing I would say, I mean, you got Xatu, but that requires prediction, is your only setter is Bisharp, and I don't think you want Bisharp setting up your Stealth Rocks.
Wait, what? Setting what?
I was saying the only thing I think your team is really lacking is a way to set up hazards. Like, you have Xatu with Magic Bounce, but that requires prediction. And the only Pokemon you have that learns like Stealth Rocks is Bisharp, and I don't think you want Bisharp being your Stealth Rock.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so that would be the only thing that I would be looking for, is something that is more reliable on setting up some hazards. But other than that, I think your team is pretty solid. Like you, our Mantine is scary. So.
Like you said, though, Mandibuzz does have defog.
Yeah,
and another one you ignored.
Hazards off of your side, like you put Heavy Duty Boots Mandibuzz, and you keep the hazards off your side.
And Hitmonlee gets Rapid Spin.
Yeah, I'm not worried about hazards staying off of your side. I'm just saying I don't think, like, you don't have a way to get hazards onto their side other than predicting.
Very sharp, which would be not worth it on that mon.
Yeah, exactly. You want Sword Dance, Sucker Punch, Iron Head. You know, like, you don't want to be throwing Stealth Rock from it. All right, next team is the Slateport City Stabilized. We got G-Max, Dreadnought, Corviknight, Barraskewda, Pincurchin, Umbreon, Weavile, Delmise, Gastrodon, Malamar, and Runarigus. Not Runarigus, Runarigus.
Runarigus.
Yeah, they said their names like almost the same. But anyway, so George, what do you think of this team here?
I don't know. I really like Malamar, actually, if it has, what is it, like Topsy-Turvy?
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know if...
I think the only move it gets that it can, like, other than, like, waiting for the opponent to do something to it, is Superpower.
Superpower, then I would usually give it, like, Superpower, and then just, like, I forgot 2 physical, like, Psychic and Dark-type moves.
Yeah.
That's what that was like one of my favorite Pokemon from X and Y. I think what is X and Y, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I like just like building him up with Superpower and then using like one of his darker Psychic type moves. I forgot. I think I went with like the two dark and psychic type physical moves that are like not that strong but have like a higher chance of critting.
Yeah, Night Slash and
Psycho Cut.
Like Psycho.
Yeah. So, and then I forgot what my last thing was for him, but
Knockoff.
yeah, I think so. It looks like a good team though. I like it.
Yeah. So I like Dreadnought. Corviknight's obviously amazing. Pincurchin with the new electric terrain of Rising Voltage is really strong. Umbreon's a great wall. I feel like Barraskewda is a little out of place as an A tier because you don't have a way to set up the rain here, so you can't swift swim with it. So I would like to see maybe dropping Weavile for Politoed, who's still available in B tier, and I think that would make Barraskewda a lot more of a threat.
Yeah, because Weavile and
really, Pincurchin might learn Rain Dance actually, but I don't know if you want to take up a slot because I think Pincurchin on this team is more going to be like attacking.
it gets Rain Dance on Pincurchin.
Yeah, but I don't think you want to be setting up with Pincurchin here. I think you want to throw it in, get electric terrain up, and start Rising Voltage and things.
Yeah. Another thing of note, the problem with Barraskewda and Weavile, they do the same thing pretty much.
Yeah.
They're both
So
very
I
fast.
would like to
boss
see
games.
Weavile drop for Politoed and see what you can do. I mean, Politoed's a lot better in doubles, but unless Juan wants to, but you can't even have Pelipper and Barraskewda on the same team, so
No, you can't.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I can see. So I just feel like Barraskewda is a lost pick here on this team, but other than that, like I can see some good things here. Got some very good bulk between Corviknight, Umbreon, and Runerigus.
Hey, I have a question. Did anyone pick up Politoed?
No. That's what
Because
we
if you
talked
dropped
about.
Weavile for Politoed, like, he has 2 Swift Swimmers already. That could be
Juan,
good.
am I on mute right now? What
You
have I
might
just
be.
been saying for the past 5 minutes?
Yeah, he might have missed that.
Matt, you just cut out the last 5 minutes of conversation where I've been saying drop Weavile for Politoed like 5 times.
Thought you said something else. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay, next team. Tuscaloosa Talonflames. We got G-Max Corviknight, Dracovish, the namesake Talonflame, Alolan Raichu, Indeedee Male, Licky Licky, Ninjask, Serena, Slurpuff, and Vikavolt. Juan, what do you think of the Talonflames here?
They've got a scary team. I feel they've got a pretty good team here. For G-Max, Corviknight, Dracovish, Licky Licky. That name still makes me laugh.
I told them they had to pick it because they wanted him B tier so badly.
Hey, Jack was talking, last podcast that he was on about some of the strategy he would do with some of the lower tier Pokemon. So he definitely knows like what he wants to do with this team. There's a good diversity here too, and I like this team. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. My brother Nick was the one who actually drafted the team because Jack had to work the night of the draft. So he was over at my house.
Did he give him like a list of?
Yeah. He gave him like a list to go off of. But I think he took it a little too literally at times instead of seeing like what was actually available. Because he since he was the 15th pick, right, you're on the turn, so you want to pick like pairs. So he picked Raichu, but he didn't pick Pincurchin with it. So the next time it was going to be his turn, that's when Slateport picked Pincurchin. So he's got Raichu, but he can't use the Volt Surfing, the ability that doubles its speed on electric terrain. So he kind of like missed on that. And I think like I won with G-Max Corviknight the first season, but I do think that it's like on the lower end of G-Max pluses. So I don't know if he could have done like a better G-Max plus than Corviknight. But I mean, he's got Dracovish, which is, you know, I thought about taking Dracovish number 2. I was like, if I said this was the Lizard, would they believe me? And I was like, nah. I told him to pick up Ninjask because I was like, dude, you get Speed Boost Ninjask, you send it out with Sash, you protect the first turn, get it hit down to Sash the second turn, protect again, and then Baton Pass into Dracovish, and now you're like a +4 speed Dracovish. Like, you can choice band it at that point and never get outsped by anything.
Fish's Friend is going to be a killer.
Yeah. But a lot of teams have good resist, and they have water absorbs this season, so I think you'll have to play around, which is why I told him to get Serena, because I was like, you need a water, something that can kill water types easily. So Serena's good with that. He has the Fire, Water, Grass core. He has the Steel, Dragon, Fairy core that I really like. He doesn't have a way to get up rocks, which is unfortunate. So we'll have to look into that. But yeah,
Another thing to note: Slurpuff on Burden Belly Drum.
yeah,
Let that thing get it off. It is going to be the most terrifying thing ever, especially
Yeah.
with Drain Punch.
yeah. With Drain Punch, Play Rough, it gets good coverage moves too if you want to be more on the special side. But all right, last team we got the Vero Beach Volcarona, G-Max Cinderace, Funkelder, Hydreigon, Silvally, Blastoise, Toxtricity, Chandelure, Dusknoir, Centiskorch, and Type Null. Matt, why don't you break down this team for us?
I'm just going to tell you all this right now. He just picked Pokemon he liked.
That's not a bad strat.
Oh yeah, like Cinderace and Girder. Not Conqueror, but Girder is what got him through the story. He really likes Type Null and Savali. Those are 2 of his favorites. He loves Hydreigon. And the rest he just thought were good Pokemon. Plus it's actually kind of funny how we both have Blastoise.
Yeah. I could see him dropping Chandelure though, because he's got 2 ghost types, and I think Dusknoir might actually be better now that it knows Poltergeist as its physical ghost stab, and he has 3 fire types. So I could see him dropping Chandelure, perhaps.
True,
I
but
guess
to
depends
know
if he wants the special fire type though, because Cinderace and Centiskorch are both physical. But yeah, not bad. I would be looking for a fairy type if I were him, because I assume whenever I see Silvally, I usually assume it's going to be steel, unless it's like
actually counter. So my dad plans on looking into this way too much, so it's probably going to be different every time.
Yeah, that's fine, but if he's not going to use a steel type, then I think he's missing the 2 best types in the game, fairy and steel.
Yeah.
I would be looking to pick those up. He's got a good dragon in Hydreigon. He's got a good fire. He's got a good water. He could maybe use a grass, but grass is like the worst out of those like 4s. So
Yeah.
not like crazy, but I would definitely be looking for a steel and a fairy. Unless he like wants to swap Savali around. But yeah, so that's all the teams. That's the draft. We kind of went through it all. But now we got to get our first impressions, guys. So we gotta rank these bad boys. We got G-Max all the way down to C tier. So I sent you guys my initial impressions based on my 10 points for what I think good singles team are, which is being able to set up hazards, being able to remove hazards, having good like pivots and Pokemon that you can switch in and out, having good sweepers, so kind of the opposite when you're ready to go on the offensive, having ways to spread status, especially poison and burn are like the two key ones that I look at because those linger and do damage and weaken Pokemon. Having weather control, whether it's setting up your weather, denying their weather, etc. Having a Fire, Water, Grass core, having a Fairy, Steel, Dragon core, having not item redundancy. So having a team that doesn't need 3 leftovers on it because you're only allowed 1 item per team. And then just gut feeling, is this Pokemon good? So I send you guys that, and obviously like we'll discuss now and get your guys' thoughts on things. But let's break it right now. Juan, we got last season's second place team, the Tuscaloosa Talon Flames. Where would you put them?
S tier.
S tier.
Yes. It's just missing some setters to set rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If he were to have that, it'd probably be G Max, but I say S tier.
I'll agree with that. His team is very good, but yeah, he doesn't have any way to set up hazards, and hazards are really important singles, which is what keeps him out of the G Max. So I agree. I think he's a high S tier, and he just needs like that one Pokemon at the bottom to pick up to set up some rocks or something. All right, Matt, the 2-time reigning champ. Where's he going?
Is that your team,
That's
Brian?
my team, El Boston Brevieros.
Where's the D tier? Where is it?
Do you mean F? I'd say A.
A.
Yeah.
I put myself at the bottom of S, but because I gave myself 7 out of 10 on the list, but I think A is fair. What do you think, Juan?
I think A is where you belong.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to veto this, honestly.
Why? What do you think, George?
I think you should make a D tier and put yours.
I can second that.
Yeah, set it up. Add another tier. Come on.
Not adding another tier for your clowns. I'll take my A. All right. I think Charm City's a G Max. I mean, they wasted their first pick, but I think they have 9 out of the 10 things on my list. So I think they're like a top tier team. Does anybody want to disagree on that?
No.
Next we got Denver. Okay, we kind of had them back to back, I guess. Juan, what do you think about Denver?
G Max. It might be the best team in the league, to be honest.
I think it is the best team. It had 10 out of 10 on my list. Like, they're very good. I told her the only thing I would replace is looking to replacing that Jolteon down the line because it's redundant with Heliolisk, and Heliolisk fits the Sun theme more. Although Jolteon is at a totally different speed tier than anything else, but still.
I think either or would work.
Oops.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Matt, you still there?
Sadly.
Where would you put the Dragapults, Matt?
I don't know.
All right, well, I had them at B tier.
Yeah, I was
gave
gonna
them
say
6
B
out of 10.
tier.
Yeah.
You had them at A, actually, on your list.
Oh, did I have them at A?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because you guys put me in A now, so it screws up my whole list here. Okay, I'll put them in A. Yeah, because they're like top picks. They had VMAX, Rillaboom, Volcarona. Yeah, their top hitters are pretty good. So yeah, they're A. All right, the LA Tinglers. George, what do you think about the LA Kinglers? Oh, George is gone. Juan, what do you think about the LA Kinglers?
I would say B tier.
B tier.
Yeah.
Really? I had them with 8 out of the 10 things on my list. Matt, do you want to...
I don't remember all the Pokemon they had. I'd have to look back at it.
Okay, I can tell you right now what they had.
Yeah.
Hold on. They had G-Max Colossal, Excadrill, Dracozolt, Seismitoad,
No, never mind. No.
Ninetales, Gardevoir.
I think I had them confused with someone else. No, yeah, that's an 8. I would say A tier.
I'd say A. Yeah, I can agree with that one.
Okay, I can go with A. All right, Juan, I'll let you pick this one.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna let you pick your own. I didn't get to pick my own.
Needle Kings is G Max tier. Let's not.
Oh my god, you clown. You clown.
In all honesty, I think he has an A tier.
Yeah,
I think he has
it's an A tier.
I feel like S, and mainly because I've went into Showdown, and I found out how hard Scyther hits, and it hits extremely hard. And I was actually really surprised because I heavily underestimated it. So I actually, and especially Blastoise, those two are going to be deceptively powerful.
Yeah, but I only gave you 6 out of the 10 on my list.
That's because I didn't have a
is
dragon
generous.
and stealth rocks. I didn't have.
Yeah, you didn't have Stealth Rocks and you're missing the cores that I talked about. You were missing a couple of the Pokemon for the cores. But I think A tier is good. Next, we got the Montreal Milotics. Matt, what do you think about Montreal? They had Butterfree, Aegislash.
What else? I'm trying to remember. Butterfree, Aegislash, what else?
Making me go back and look. Butterfree, Aegislash, Rotom Wash, Ditto, Haxorus, Hatterene, Skarmory, Cursula, Mienshao, and Galarian Mr. Mime.
The C tiers are very weird, and same thing with Butterfree, but everything else seems really solid, so I'd say it's solid A tier.
And A tier is getting cramped.
Well, nobody really did that bad of a draft this season, except for like
They all suck.
2.
All right, PSG. So these guys, I actually gave 8 out of 10 on my score here. So if we look back at their team, other than the Machamp, they got Tyranitar, who's great, Amoonguss, Clefable, Galvantula, Oyster, Skarmory, Flareon.
I really like this team, to be honest. I think it's an S tier.
Yeah,
One thing to know, speed control, they have the best sticky web setter.
Yeah.
And if it survives a hit, that's like a pivot sweeper. So it's gonna get sticky web, but then it's gonna hit decently hard, or it's gonna leave.
Yeah, exactly. So I like their thing. They got the cores. They got the utility.
Definitely an S.
Next, we got the Mighty Psyducks. So, George, what do you think about the Psyducks here? Ali's kind of a meme in our league.
I don't know. I like the I don't remember the Pokemon on it, but I like the logo.
He had G-Max, Orbeetle, Togekiss, Venusaur, Charizard, Gyarados, Raichu. Remember, he had all the old school ones.
I would
I'd say
do.
that one's an A.
Yeah, I would say. I was gonna say A. Solid.
I can give him A. Again, I would. I mean, he has life. If he does Life Art, Heat Rock, Sunny Day, and that gives him like a pseudo Sun team, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Gyarados the first season, Denver like just put a Choice Scarf on it, and late game it just swept things with Moxie. So pretty good.
And that's a disgustingly fast and powerful G-Max alongside just Gyarados' raw power.
You think Orbeetle's a fast and powerful Gmax?
Oh no, not Venusaur. Venusaur. Never mind. Shh. I was mixing up Venusaur and Orbeetle's spot
No worries. All right.
because
next
we
got
had
the
that thing
Reno
about the.
Weezings. So this was the team that was like all walls.
That one I'd say B or C, just for the fact it's all walls.
I'm gonna say B because I think they just need like one sweeper maybe. Like they need to drop like Corsola and pick up like Terrakion, and I think that they'll be pretty scary because you're
That's
not
the
gonna have, like
problem.
Toxapex and everything.
That's the problem. Terrakion you have to get from an older game.
I'll lend him one of mine because I'm nice.
Well, if he watches this will be a good opportunity for him.
All right, next we got the Seattle Shiny Sylveons. Juan, what do we think about the Sylveons?
Remind me who's on that team again?
All right,
It's hard to remember all these.
he had Dragapult, Gmax, Gengar, Necrozma, Lucario.
Okay. Yeah, I would say he's a B tier.
B.
I think he's missing some stuff there.
Yeah, he has a lot of redundancy, but they're still like strong, fast Pokemon. So I mean, if you can outspeed everything, that would kill you.
Yeah, it's definitely not a trash team, but it's not an upper.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an A tier. I think it's B tier.
Yeah, he just needs to like get a little bit of
Diversity.
yeah, and he doesn't really have anything that can like take hits if he switches it in. Like all of his Pokemon are pretty offensive, so he needs like some bulkier Pokemon that you can switch in and pivot around with. All right, then we got the Sin City Squirtles. George, what do you think about the Squirtles?
It's
They had Max Charizard.
It's Josh's team, so definitely C tier. Like we need one C tier team. He's going in C tier, so
What do you think, Matt?
What's the rest of his team before we just meme him into C tier hell?
All right. Let's double check here.
I feel like Juan could agree with me.
You got Gmax, Charizard, Ferrothorn, Reuniclus, Noivern, Duraludon, Vanillix, Wishiwachi, Vespiquen, Kling Klang, and Skuntank.
Just hearing Ferrothorn and like his A tier, that alone I feel like is just enough to keep him out of C tier because Ferrothorn is just an insanely powerful tank with
Ferrothorn's
stealth rock.
good. Charizard's obviously good.
Yeah,
The Reuniclus, he needs.
it's good. It's just is a bit awkward to use.
Yeah. I don't know about the Reuniclus. I mean, he gets Magic Guard, so you usually do Life Orb with it. Try to set up some sort of Trick Room thing.
I'd say B.
Yeah, I
think B.
agree. I think it's a B tier.
Give him a fine.
I almost want to say C though with George.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's.
Listen, I think the commission and the special guest are both saying C. So
Yeah.
But the
you gotta
special,
go with that.
Yeah.
I think
but I
it's
guess
high,
he's memeing into
like it's
C
close.
tier.
I think he has too many steel types, and I need to see what he wants to do with that Reuniclus and Wishiwachi. Like if he can go a little bit more towards like a Trick Room or some sort of like speed.
You're talking about Josh. Like he's not going to do any of that. So just C tier. Like it's done.
All right. Next, we got the Slateport Sableyes. They had the Gmax Dreadnought, Barraskewda. They needed like a range setup, Weavile. I forget what their S tier was off the top of my head now. But
There's
I can double check again. Oh, it was Corviknight. So Corviknight's good. But
yeah, that's a really good one. I'd say A.
I think C. What do you think, Juan?
I'm in between. I say B.
All right, George, you're the tiebreaker.
What was it, A or B?
I said C. Juan said B. Matt said A.
I'll go with B.
B.
Yeah.
All right, next we got the Vero Beach Volcarona. They got, what they have, Matt? They had Blastoise, Conkeldurr,
G-Max Cinderace,
G-Max Cinderace,
Savalian
Shielbert.
Type Null.
I think they're a B tier. Like, I think they're a high B tier.
High B, low A, is what you'd say.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to have a whole string of A's. We need to make some stances here, people. We need some decisions for everyone in A. So there
B.
needs to be a breaking point. I think he needs to swap out some of his fire types, and he needs
Centiskorch, I say, is the worst one.
yeah, probably swap out Centiskorch. And I think he needs some hazard setting. And and he needed a steel and fairy type, so he's kind of missing a bit, actually. But I think he still is a B. All right, and last one, Worcester Delibirds. Matt, I'll let you pick for the Worcester Delibirds.
Go to edit, add a D tier.
Oh,
Go to edit again and add an F tier and put them there.
Damn.
after I gave you G-Max praise, you gonna do me like that?
Okay, I'm messing around. So, other than his wasted Delibird pick, let's see his team, because I forgot.
Okay, I'm not putting you there, Juan, but I gotta hold you there while I pull up the
It was
team.
G-Max, Snorlax,
Yeah.
Pelipper,
Yeah, his top 6 are really good.
yeah, my C tiers are kind of weak.
Yeah, his C tiers fail the team basically.
Delibird.
T-Max, Snorlax, Rillaboom, Pelipper, Arcanine, Machamp, Gigalith, Butterfree, Thievul, Weezing, and Delibird.
Bottom of A, top of B. I'd say that's somewhere as the same as Volcarona.
Alright, I'll be the tiebreaker. I'll put him in A. I'll put him in A. So, okay. Does anyone want to make any changes here?
Yes, get Minnesota Nidoking, add one above G-Max called God, and put it there.
No. Nah. I think this is pretty fair. I think you got like a mushy middle. Like obviously the draft just started, so it's pretty fair. But you got like a couple teams that like set themselves apart with their draft strategy.
Well, it looks like Psydox is going to not get his record single win.
I don't
get
know.
more.
Ali might surprise you with that.
Well, yeah, he might actually get more than one.
No,
I'll just decide though.
no, Juan, right? Ali can't do that.
Nah, man, he's the man.
I don't know. He's going against my dad.
Ali, every season he loses and then he wins like the last game of the season. Like that's just how he rolls. All right, so we ranked all the teams, and now it's time for the last part of the podcast. We're gonna show the week 1 schedule. So you gotta scroll up to it. All right, everybody ready for the week 1 schedule? See who you're all playing.
Please put me against my dad.
All right, here we go. So we got Boston Braviaries versus PSG, Charm City Charizards versus Montreal Milotics, Dragapult versus Slateport Sableyes, Denver going up the LA Kinglers. Ooh, look at this. Minnesota versus Worcester. All right.
I can guarantee you I'll win.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's a snack talk I want to see. Then we got the Psyducks versus Tuscaloosa, Reno Weezings versus Vero Beach Volcarona, and the Seattle Shiny Sylveons versus Sin City. Juan, other than your game, obviously, any that pop out to you as an interesting matchup week 1?
Yours. I think you versus PSG. I think that should be a good one.
Yeah, Andrew's pretty competitive, so he was making some good insight. He was on our Zoom call last night, so
I'm gonna make a prediction.
oh,
Volcarona's gonna beat Weezing.
I could see that because I think Reno is missing more than Volcarona is. But I think
And
it's gonna be a
also-
long game. Matt, you gotta make sure he can actually like finish the game. You know what I mean? I don't want games going to time week 1.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Dave from Reno too and be like, hey, make sure you don't stall too much because we do have a no stalling clause.
Yeah. Bam.
I don't think my dad knows what stalling is, to be honest with you.
George, what were you saying?
Ban him if he does.
Well, you saw his team with all walls, and that's what he wanted to do. I'm like, that's fine, but you got to kill things too.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. That'd be
I'm
like
interested. A couple that I'm interested in are
they're like a turn limit.
no, it's just a time limit because it's via Wi-Fi, so you only get 20 minutes.
Yes, 20 minutes.
Yeah. So it's and that includes animations, so it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Charm City in Montreal seems to be the most interesting one to me. And then Denver and Kinglers. And
That's
Tuscaloosa
different.
gets the free one.
I thought you said he was gonna do well this season.
I said Psydox might get more than one win,
Not against
but not against Tuscaloosa.
All right. I think I'm interested in the Dragapults versus Slateport and Reno versus Vero Beach because those are 4 new coaches.
Mm.
So I think that'll be cool. Kind of see the fresh blood. But yeah, so guys, that's the week 1 schedule. That'll be going on between the 21st and 27th of September. So we're gonna wrap it up here. I want to say thank you to Matt and Juan for joining me once again, and a huge thanks to George. Make sure you guys check out COVID Crusader and Ultra Gear.
Yeah.
Down below, check out the store. We'll also link our merch store, and make sure you subscribe to Sordward and Shielbert Spectacular Skirmish Society and hit that like button. Leave a comment, show your love for George. Show us what tiers you think the team should have been in after the draft, and if there are any picks you agree with or disagree with. Again, guys, thanks. Have a good night. Society out.